Have you ever felt like you were being watched? Maybe you heard a rustle near the trash can at night. A pair of glowing eyes stared back at you. And then, in a flash, your leftovers were gone. That wasn't a burglar. That was a raccoon. To most of us, raccoons are nothing more than pests, trash pandas that tip over bins and sneak through cat doors. But behind that little black mask is a creature with surprising intelligence, bizarre habits, and a knack for surviving almost anywhere. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the strangest and most misunderstood animals in North America, the raccoon. At first glance, raccoons look like tiny burglars in fur coats. And that mask around their eyes? It's not just for show. That dark fur actually reduces glare and improves their night vision, almost like natural sunglasses for the dark. But what really makes them incredible are their hands. Raccoons have paws so sensitive that they can see the world through touch. In fact, a raccoon's front paws contain 4 times more sensory receptors than a human's. If you blindfolded one, it could still figure out the shape of an object just by feeling it. That's why raccoons are often seen fiddling with locks, knobs, or even your garbage lid. To them, it's like reading Braille. Now, here's where things get strange. Raccoons aren't just curious, they're smart. Really smart. Back in 1908, researchers gave raccoons a series of puzzles, locks, latches, and containers designed to stump them. Out of 13 complex locks, raccoons solved 11. Some even figured out how to undo them upside down. And here's the kicker. They remembered the solutions for years. One study found that a raccoon could recall how to solve a problem even after 3 years had passed. That's on par with primates. And it's one of the reasons raccoons have become masters of survival in cities. They don't just scavenge, they learn. If you've ever seen a raccoon dunk its food in water, you might think it's trying to wash it. But that's not what's happening at all. In reality, the water enhances their sense of touch. When raccoons wet their paws, the nerve endings become even more sensitive, almost like supercharging their fingertips. So what looks like hand washing is really brain hacking. And the weirdness doesn't stop there. Raccoons communicate with more than 200 different sounds. They purr when they're content, growl when they're angry, and even let out blood-curdling screams if threatened. Their dens are just as strange. They'll set up home in hollow trees, sewers, attics, or even under your porch, anywhere that gives them an edge. Long before we started calling them trash pandas, raccoons were central figures in Native American folklore. Many tribes saw them as tricksters, clever shapeshifters who could outwit both animals and humans. And looking at how raccoons live today, it's hard not to see that trickster spirit. In cities, they've learned to open cat flaps, sneak into attics, and raid pet food bowls. In Toronto, they're even known for breaking into green bins designed to keep them out. Spoiler, the raccoons won. They're not adapting to us. We're adapting to them. Here's the wild part. Raccoons may actually be more common in cities than in the wild. Urban areas are raccoon paradise, endless food, endless shelter, and fewer predators. That's why raccoon populations have exploded in North America. They've gone from shy woodland creatures to full-blown city dwellers. And thanks to the internet, they've become celebrities too. From viral clips of raccoons stealing phones to memes that crown them the kings of garbage, raccoons have cemented their place in both our neighborhoods and our culture. So maybe raccoons aren't just pests. They're survivors, tricksters, burglars with masks and hands as clever as our own. The next time you see one digging through your trash, don't just see chaos. See strategy, because the masked bandits of the night have always been one step ahead of us. Would you ever want a raccoon as a pet? Or would that be your worst nightmare? Let me know in the comments.